What is up, guys? Welcome in. Hit that little subscribe button. Just need to do a little beep bop boop and you're subscribed. Then you don't miss any of the stuff we do. And that helps us grow. So we would appreciate that. We're getting really close to going to Windrock and we're starting to get some of the stuff off our list. As you saw, still got some things to do. That's what we're doing in this video. But we're also going to be going to the cliffs one more time before we go to Windrock. I'm sure you guys have all seen videos, pictures where it's a RZR or any other brand and you got that big old stick or branch sticking through the floor or the inner fender well or whatever. Dude and I both have it on our machines. We have the all things UTV inner fender guards. We got to get some inner fender protection on Steph's machine before Windrock. So we ended up going with a different brand than what Dude and I run, and it's a little bit of a different setup. We got some McNasty Customz inner fender guards. Let me show you. These here, all aluminum, along with a plate for each side of the vehicle. You get all the necessary hardware, a big bag of hardware actually, because they give you the hardware for two different mounting options. You can run the standard self-tapping sheet metal screw, or you can drill the bigger hole and use one of the little riv nut deals. I don't know if that's what they're actually called, but they're little, you press them in and then just a regular bolt to hold them on. For today, we're just going to be using the sheet metal screws because we don't really have time. Down the line, hopefully before Tennessee, I can pull the sheet metal screws, drill the holes bigger, and use the little riv nut style. I believe the color of these, it's called 19 Turbo S Blue, something like that. They seem to match pretty good with her plastics here. Now the big thing that's different with these than the ones we're running on the Pro XPs, the Pro XPs fit tight up against your plastic fender well, and you screw them mostly into plastic. So we've had some where it has ripped out. In all fairness, we were tucking fender flares in there too, so that didn't help. The McNasty ones, on the other hand, all the mounting points are to frame rail. So you'll have a gap between the plastic. These are designed that way for a few reasons. A lot easier to clean behind them. And then you have little drain holes everywhere. McNasty also claims on the flush design, kind of like the ones that are on mine and Dude's Pro XP, if you hit a big branch, you're still impacting the floor and you can damage your floor. With these, they're mounted away from the frame and you're just impacting the plate and you probably won't damage your floor. Honestly, I kind of like this design better. They feel real tough. The downside to this design though is if you're already on that line to where you're running an oversized tire and about to rub, I'm guessing you'll probably rub on these. We won't know until we get them on and see what they look like, but just the way they're designed, it seems like they're gonna be out towards the tire a little bit more than the flush design. So I haven't read directions. I don't know if it's necessary, but as you can see, the fenders are off. She was running the Polaris extended fender flare type deal because the factory ones, there's not much to them. But for the trip to Windrock, she is choosing line of sight over mud coming in the cab. She wants to run the factory ones because she can see where she's placing this tire. With those big boys on, you can't see the tire, and in terrain like Windrock is going to be, where your tires are is very important. So she's choosing that. So while we're doing this, we're going to put the stock ones back on. Like I said, I don't know if you necessarily need to remove them to do this project, but I did because we're swapping them out anyways. It does look like we're going to have to drop part of the skid plate. Yeah. One of the mounting points is on this frame rail, so obviously this skid plate's going to be in the way, so we'll drop this down a little bit to get it out of the way, and then we'll get those bad boys on.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Not exactly sure where all the mounting points are yet on this. I know it's all frame. The one that I do know is the one I'll start with. One of your master cylinder bolts. So we'll just remove this. It's a 13 mil. There also is a nut on the other side of the master cylinder you'll have to hold. So it's gonna be something like this.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Just like that. Then if you got some branch trying to ramrod its way through, it can't now. So then we'll take our master cylinder bolt, run it through here like this, and then just bolt it back to the master cylinder, tighten it down. Actually, I'd leave it loose so we can kind of wiggle this around to get it where we need it. Damn it. Alright, we got the master cylinder bolt on, finger tight, and maybe we'll get a clamp or something to hold this up. It wouldn't be a day that ends in Y without me f***ing something up. I try to get cute. And this one here, tried to pull the plate a little tighter to the frame, and I snapped the head off the self-tapper. So I'm just gonna tighten up the master cylinder bolt. Then maybe I'll take this one out and I'll try to extract that and start over, and this time not be an idiot. So I just took this one out like I said, and then I was able to back it off a little bit. Some needle nose vice grips, and we can back it out. Probably didn't even need vice grips, just needle nose pliers. And I fixed my mistake. Let's try this again. So there's a bit of a gap, but it ain't going anywhere. And as long as I say it ain't going anywhere, then it's safe. But 4 self-tappers, and then bolted to the master cylinder, and this side's done. I think I forgot to mention, on the other side when I was doing all the self-tappers, I tried just a self-tapper to save time. Didn't work out, so I did do a little pilot hole, and it worked a lot better that way. This side probably won't be as easy, and that's just a guess. There's no good starting reference point like the other side on the master cylinder. This one's gonna be all self-tappers, so I think I'm gonna try and clamp it up and figure out where it goes. So maybe it isn't gonna be that bad. I clamped it on the bottom the same way I did the other side, because these holes, they have to be here on this frame rail. I know that. And then that makes sense there. And then this we might have, and then this one we might have to pull tighter like the other side, and that should be it. So this side is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna drill and put these self-tappers in. I'll throw you to time lapse because again, just self-tappers. And I'll either see you when I'm done with this side, or if I f it up again. So I did screw up again. I snapped the head off of another one on the passenger side. Same method, just backed it off. Needle nose, got her out of there, put a fresh one in. This one I don't really know what I did because I wasn't trying to pull a plate to the rail. It was already pretty flush. Maybe the hardware doesn't like being impacted in, or maybe the hardware ain't that great. While we're talking about screw ups, on the other side, the driver's side, I did miss a hole. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll get this thing back together, and I'll show you what they look like.
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
That's a wrap on this. Steph's 21 RZR XP 1K Trails and Rocks Edition now has crotch protection. Putting these McNasty Customz plates up, real easy project. I like this setup better than the one on my machine because some of my hardware is pulling through the plastic. That's impossible on this because all the mounting points are on the frame. With the Trails and Rocks Edition, it comes with the 3/8 full skid plate. So it's a little tighter on there, but it all goes back together perfectly fine. These, I think this set is like 240 bucks. I want to say it's like 260 for the All Things UTV. Doesn't matter what brand you get. If you're riding through woods and there's branches around, it's probably something you should have. It's cheap insurance for your crotch and then your floorboard. That's why we run them. We've never personally experienced any sticks coming up through, but I've seen enough pictures where I'm like, I'll spend a couple $100 and not really have to worry about that. Yeah, both sides have a pretty good gap. That'll be nice for cleaning. You can spray the mud out. But when we go to throw bigger tires on this machine, we probably will have to do forward A-arms because it was already pretty close to rubbing with Dude's 32-inch Rockzillas. And this does take away some of your clearance. So we'll see. When we do tires, may have to do A-arms too. Not that big of a deal. While doing the lower mounts for the plates, I did notice there is still one area that's unprotected. I'll try to show you that now. You can see that little area there. That's where your foot, that little footrest is on the inside. Yeah. Other than that, they have real good coverage. I'm happy with them. They feel strong. Feels real solid. Once we switch out that hardware, it'll probably be even better. But for now, it'll do the job. All right, guys, I think next video will be a riding video at the cliffs. So until then, if you haven't already, hit that little subscribe button, like the video, leave us a comment. And thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.